Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, and my friends, we're here with the latest King of Fighters 15 character trailer, and this time around it's Maxima, our resident giant Canadian armored grappler gorilla character. With Maxima, Team K- is officially formed, therefore there's only 2 teams left to form in the King of Fighters 15. So we have Maxima with superhuman abilities, he's a cyborg. We have K- with a bunch of inherited power from Kyo with superhuman abilities. And we have Whip, who has a whip. So who is Maxima exactly besides a Canadian with big sideburns? Maxima is the most armored character in the King of Fighters. You can consider him a grappler. He has potentially the single best command grab in all of the King of Fighters actually, although he doesn't have multiple command grabs like some of the other characters like Clark or King of Dinosaurs. But the big thing is the armor. He's just dripping with super armor / guard points on just about everything. There's a very big chance anytime you hit him, if you see him doing something, you're not going to see counter hit. You're going to see your attack just harmlessly bounce off him, and he's going to absolutely smash your face in. So if you like the character that can walk through most given attacks, he's the guy for it. Also, in the King of Fighters 15 version, given he's based off the King of Fighters 14 version, he's also got a little bit of tricky stuff to him, as he's a character that can hit you with instant overheads. So the usual pressure, he has a frame 1 command grab and instant overheads along with all the armor. Hey, that's pretty good. So gameplay, he's a big armored bully with a command grab, and we'll talk more about that a little later on. But who is Maxima in the actual plot of the King of Fighters? So Maxima is pretty intricately tied to K-. He's always been on the K- team. He's the only member of the K- team besides K- himself to always be on the K- team. They're pretty inseparable. And with that, just like K-, he first makes his appearance in the Ness saga. So before joining the King of Fighters tournament, he was a Canadian Armed Forces member. And then one day, one of his comrades, his best friend, was killed by an agent of Nest's. Maxima not being the kind of guy to put up with that, well, things had to change and he had to take down Ness. Thing is, he's just a normal guy, right? And if you know your comics, what do Canadians do if you gotta get really strong really fast? That's right, it's Weapon X time for Maxima. So Maxima gets his whole body borged out. So now he has superhuman strength, superhuman, well, just about everything. He can hack computers, his brain's way faster than a normal person. He's, in all intents and purposes, basically a superhero at this point. He then goes and undercover infiltrates the Nest cartel, and at which point he meets K- and, well, at that point, K- and Maxima are synonymous with the Nest saga as a whole, as they are the saga's protagonists. And what does that mean? Well, at that point, it's a battle of a lot of high-tech freaks from Ness, a lot of clones, literally tens of thousands of Kyo clones actually, and it just kind of goes from there. Once again, King of Fighters 99, 2000, 2001, these are the Nest saga games, and it's all about K- and Maxima and friends. This isn't the video to go over every little detail of the Nest saga, just suffice to say there's ever increasing levels of baddies. Every time you think you know who the bad guy is, it turns out to be somebody else. And a hell of a lot of Kyo Kusanagi clones. Throughout all this, K- and Maxima develop a true bond. They are basically best friends. K- is the hothead, and Maxima is the calm, cool, and collected one, who usually has to apologize for K-'s actions. Basically culminating at the end of King of Fighters 99, specifically when their friendship is really formed, Maxima starts taking a lot of bullets for K- because, well, he's a big guy and he can take it. That whole cyborg body thing turns out pretty effective, pretty tough. After the Nest saga, just like many characters after their saga's over, they're not as important, they just kind of flit around. They hang out with Hydern and the Ikari Warriors quite a bit, and they just take it from there. In the games themselves, he's dripping with armor, as we've mentioned before. I'm talking even basic stuff like stand heavy punch, stand heavy kick, all sorts of moves, all sorts of normals and specials have armor. Some of them have armor earlier on, some have armor later on. They're kind of designed for different things. One of the most dangerous things you can do is kind of attack into him and be unsure of what he's going to do. And or maybe you think you know what you're going to do and try to frame trap him, and a lot of his moves have armor very early on and your frame trap will fail. He also has stuff like the classic grappler jump, the big splash that hits both sides for easy cross-ups. The vapor cannon moves, which is like superheated steam coming out of his gauntlets, are usual combo fodder. They can wall bounce too if you do the EX versions. He also has fun stuff like air grabs as well, so if you wall bounce, you can combo into an air grab, that kind of stuff. And the big thing is his normal command grab. This guy right here. It always corners the opponent, no matter where you are. If you're on one end of the screen, it'll take you all the way to the other end of the screen. And yes, it does have a follow-up as well for extra damage. And you can also super cancel it if you don't take the follow-up. And the heavy version is a gliding version. Fast version is a frame one grab, which always corners you, and the heavy version is basically like a running bear grab, if you will. So on to the trailer breakdown. So first thing here, we can see the model has been up-res, new texture, all that kind of stuff, and there's glowy bits now. So Maxima is a lot more high-tech, because glowy bits equals high-tech. Some people say his face looks more like a monkey face now, and honestly, I don't see it, but I'm all for it. So a nice establishing shot of his face, those big beautiful sideburns. And yes, we go into the fact that Team K-Dash is now formed. So there's only 2 teams left now before launch. K-Dash is spoken for. Now, as usual, we open the trailer proper with a bunch of normals. So first up here, there's a stand jab, there's a stand heavy punch, has a guard point, armored. Stand heavy kick, has a guard point, armored. We have down forward heavy punch. This move is a very serviceable anti-air move for one, and also it is ultra key to his combo structure being a command normal. You will see this move a lot out of this character. Next up here we have jump heavy punch. This is our grappler jump, can cross up. Jump heavy kick, which is very active out there for a long time. And CD, our blowback attack, which is armored as well, by the way. Here we have a little story bit, I guess, between K-Dash and Maxima. K-Dash kind of running his mouth saying, hey, watch out, my flame can burn you. And Maxima saying, even at your best, you can't hurt me, so don't worry about it, little buddy. Maxima basically saying, you're the more important character, but I'm stronger than you. So here we have forward throw, and this is the vapor cannon. This is one of his most important moves. So the light punch is kind of the combo one. The heavy punch one is the one that is very armored. They both can destroy projectiles as well if you hit the projectile with your fist. The EX one also wall bounces. No matter what, you're going to see this move a lot in any different variation of it. From Maxima, this is one of his most important moves. Next up is his anti-air grab. So this guy is mostly for combos or for hard reads. It's not invincible in any kind of way, although the EX version is armored on frame 1. And this guy here is an all-new move. This move did not exist in previous games. So basically, this is an armored flying tackle, just going right at the enemy. King of Dinosaurs attempts to hit him, and he just tanks through it and smashes him on the other side. Maxima, being the single most armored character in the game, definitely could use more armor, so I'm all for it. This is his level 1 projectile super. It is a giant beam. Iron Man would be very proud. This is his level 2 punch super, and there is no flash, only function. He just devastates you and smashes you in the face. Although speaking of flash, here's a nice little round wind pose. Next up here we see close light punch into the shoulder. If this shoulder can combo off a light, that means the startup is very fast. So more than likely the light one is the combo one, and the heavy one is the armored one, which is actually the same way Vapor Cannon works anyways. Next up is a Heartbreaker. Now what you're seeing here, oh man, he armored through his thing in the air. That's really cool, right? This is actually a nerf showcase. How is that, you ask? Well, when Ramon gets smacked to the ground, he's splatted. This is a hard knockdown, right? Before in the King of Fighters 14, this move was a ground bounce, meaning you could combo from it. Air Vapor Cannon is a move we can Tiger Knee, meaning you can do it incredibly low to the ground. So you can effectively instant overhead someone crouching and it's totally unseeable. There's no way they could possibly react to this overhead. And then it bounces and then you do more follow-ups and you can get pretty respectable damage. I guess since EX moves are no longer tied to max mode in King of Fighters 15 like they are in 14, you can do it whenever you want. Maybe they thought this was a little too strong, unfortunately. This was something I was looking forward to myself, and they kind of went out of their way to say, no, you can't do this. Next up from that, we see a counter hit vapor cannon. So when heavy vapor cannon hits as a counter hit, it actually gains the wall bounce property. So the move itself changes based off the counter hit. So basically you get the EX version of the move for free. I guess you can work it out that way. And for my money, the bounce actually looks a lot better than it is in King of Fighters 14, so it might be improved. After this, we see EX Vapor Cannon, which also does a wall bounce all the time, no matter what, and going into the EX Shoulder. Doesn't seem to do much besides the hit itself, though. Also, from that last little bit, instant overhead vapor cannons aren't going anywhere. They're alive and well, as you can see, just you won't be able to get a full combo off the EX version. So he will always be able to threaten you with an instant overhead. Next up here, we have a little bit of a bread and butter combo going into EX Vapor Cannon and then EX Grab. EX Grab is like the heavy version in that it runs forward first. It's just a lot faster. And finally, our big showcase. So close heavy punch, down forward heavy punch, Vapor Cannon, level 1 punch super, level 2 beam super, and then from there we go into the climax, which is the biggest of all the beams. Although, like so many of the trailers, it kind of cuts just as it's getting good, unfortunately. But rest assured, the laser is there. And that, my friends, is Maxima, our big dumb armored grappler gorilla character in the King of Fighters 15. He's not even the only armored grappler gorilla character, but this is his trailer, so we'll talk about him for now. Looks as good as he's ever done, and the fact that he has an all-new move, an all-new armored moving forward move, it's going to be interesting. We'll have to know all the properties, I guess, but definitely thumbs up on that one. And with him, we're sort of nearing the end of the road. He is the 37th of the planned 39 characters we'll have for the roster, so there's only 2 more characters left. And there's only 2 more teams left to fill. We have Team K-Dash now. So we have Team Ash Crimson and Team Cronin / On Hell. The launch is kind of sneaking up on us, I guess you could say. So I hope you've been enjoying these trailers and these breakdowns, because honestly, I guess there's not really many of them left. So I guess at this point, I guess you could say if you want to leave a like, that would be greatly appreciated. But of course, I will be here for these final character trailers and of course any other trailers they may want to put out along the way as well. Beta number 3? Hey, we can only hope, right? All I can really say is the roster's shaping up very nicely. There's a character archetype for everyone, no matter what you like. You like zoning, you like rushdown, you like grappling, you like whatever. There's someone for you. And I think this is just going to be a hell of a game, to be honest with you. But all that said, I'm rambling here, so let's cut the video. This is the end of the video, my friends. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some King of Fighters.